I'm Tally, this is Farrell, and we are bored of it. And today we're going to be reviewing Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth, which is for 2 players.
And this is actually a reimagining, if you will, of Seven Wonders Duel, an extremely popular 2-player game with, of course, a Lord of the Rings theme. It's not exactly one for one. There are some new mechanisms, although the games are very similar, but we'll get to all of that later. What you should know now is that this was a review copy provided by the publisher, and with that, we'll tell you how to play it. Lord of the Rings Duel is a set collection drafting game, which is played across 3 rounds. Each round, you'll set up a tableau of cards, some face up, some face down, like shown here, and players will take turns drafting 1 card each turn and placing them in their tableau and gaining their effect. The cards all do different things. Some, such as the grey cards, are symbols which will go towards payment in future cards. As many cards have a cost of some sort, either money or symbols, and if you don't have the symbols, you pay money. So the symbols will end up making things cheaper in the longer run. Now, you also have Fellowship of the Ring cards, which allow you to move up on this track up here. Both players have their own individual track, and if you get to the end of your track, you will instantly win the game. There are red battle cards, which allow you to put troops on this mini-map over here, which is a kind of area control game where if you have troops or buildings in every single region on that map, you instantly win. Then there are the green cards, which have symbols on them, and if you get 6 unique symbols, you will then immediately win the game. Otherwise, you can collect unique or the same pairs, if you will, of these symbols to gain tokens which give you bonuses throughout the game. Then there are also money cards, which will allow you to gain money to spend on buying cards when you need to pay. And in the last round, there'll be some purple cards, which kind of let you move your troops around and grief the other players by removing things from them. Those are the 3 ways that you can win immediately, but you also will have to contend with the landmarks. These are powerful tiles, which cost a lot of those symbols I said about, or money if you don't have them. And these will let you put permanent buildings in the regions of the map, as well as giving you a bunch of bonuses. That's pretty much all you need to know to play the game, and away you go. So what is the difference between this and Seven Wonders Duel? Well, actually, pretty much a lot of things are imported over one for one. The way you use money, the symbology used to buy cards in the future, the fact that some cards let you buy cards in the future for free, the races of Middle-earth and their symbols are basically the science symbols from Seven Wonders Duel. And you also, again, have a track that you're trying to get to the end of for an instant win. So the 2 instant win conditions from Seven Wonders Duel have been taken over here, and there's just a 3rd one added with this kind of mini-map, area control mini-game, basically. There are a little bit of changes where you have your own unique track when you're trying to max out the track for an instant win, so what one player is doing on their track doesn't necessarily affect you in any way. But the biggest change is the fact that there are no victory points in this game. So you have the 3 instant win conditions, but now when you go the distance, so there's a draw, it's not who has the most victory points, it's who has the most area control in this map. So that's probably the biggest change.
Similar to Seven Wonders Duel, Lord of the Rings is an excellent game because it is simple to play, but each decision is impactful. Players are pulled in a number of different directions, with each card being important in some way. The back and forth drafting alongside the hidden cards is a sublime mechanism and really creates a lot of tension and tug of war between the players. And this tension is nicely ramped up even more in round 3 with the addition of the purple cards, which allows players to move their troops from region to region on the region board in a last vie for dominance. In Lord of the Rings Duel, there are 3 areas that you need to juggle: the ring track, the area control minigame, and the set collection. And there's great fun to be had in trying to get an advantage in one of them whilst not conceding in the others. We really like the addition of this third area when compared with Seven Wonders Duel and the added mechanisms of the combat, making it feel like a more well-rounded game. The landmarks are pretty interesting because they give you permanent control of a region as they can't be removed. But there's only 7 opportunities to place one for each region. Not having to worry about a region is a huge boon. So they're a great source of competition, and not to mention all of the bonuses that they give as well.
Moving on to things that disappointed us. There are 2 small ones, 1 big one. So the first small one, component issue, and it's this track here, and it looks really cool, but it doesn't function as easily as it should. It has a tendency to slide around, and you move one and it ends up pushing the other, and you can get lost on your progress and you have to count up again. It's just something that, you know, it's gimmicky basically, and it would have made life a lot cleaner and easier just having normal tracking tokens like you do in every other game. Number 2 is these tokens you get when you make pairs or you get a bunch of different symbols. These tokens are just not particularly interesting. Not all of them, there's a bit of a mix, but some are very uninteresting and I don't think I'd ever pick. And others are almost overpowered, like giving you extra turns. And there's not many of them either, so there's not a lot of variability. And this is the kind of game, because it's short and it's tense and it's tight, you play a lot of times over and over. I think it's a missed opportunity to have more of those, and some thought should be put into making them a bit more balanced or interesting. Then the biggest issue we had, which isn't really an issue, but I think it's a missed opportunity again, where you have this great theme, you know, Sauron versus the Fellowship of the Ring. And, you know, there's all this set dressing of they're going against each other, it's war. But in reality, that's nothing. There's nothing behind it. There's no salient difference between playing as one or the other. And so I think it's definitely a miss that there's no even minor asymmetric something to this game, because why have it as 2 opposing factions at all if essentially there's no difference between them? Final thoughts. Lord of the Rings Duel was a game we both enjoyed a great deal. I think if you play Seven Wonders Duel, then you pretty much know exactly what it's all about. The kind of tight, tense, head-to-head drafting, almost combat in a way. It's just a kind of simple yet decision-filled game. Great way to kill half an hour. And it's something we really enjoyed. And I think for my part, I preferred Seven Wonders Duel, both because of the added gameplay, but also the theme, to be honest. I think the theme really does it for me.
Yeah, I also really enjoy it. I'm not particularly Lord of the Rings fan like you are.
What do you mean? You've watched all of them twice.
Forced to by you.
Yeah, well,
no, yeah, it's all right, it's fine. But yeah, no, I really like this one. I think we touched on it, but the richness, if you will, of all of the different kind of win conditions and the little extra tweaks with the mechanisms, I think makes it really shine, particularly like the chasey track, which I'm a bit obsessed with. I've never managed to complete it and actually catch these 2, you know, hobbit things, yeah. But yeah, I think it's really cool to try out the different ways to win, basically. And obviously every game will be a little bit different, because you want to try one time going maybe a bit more for the track, but obviously it's so dependent on what cards come out, so you have to kind of pivot a bit. Yeah, really, really enjoyed it. Yeah,
I think it's a good point that it's interesting, the different win conditions. And it's also annoying actually, because you're always Sauron because you hate everyone in the Fellowship. So you always start and you always take the ring card first. So it's like there's not even any point of me trying to go for it. I'll just try and stop you when I can. It's really annoying.
I just want to catch them.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I think the kind of end thought would be that if you have Seven Wonders Duel, there's not enough here to go out and buy this unless you're a giant Seven Wonders Duel fan and you really want like this kind of slightly different experience. Just because some things, like I said, are kind of one for one to that game. But I definitely prefer it. So if you don't own one of the two, then I would recommend this one. I don't know, you said you felt a little differently, that you prefer Seven Wonders Duel.
Yeah, but that's just because I haven't been able to win this one so far.
Okay.
That's mostly it.
So it's bias, basically. Open bias.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think mechanically this is better and what it offers. Yeah, I'm just being salty.
Okay, so I think with that, we'll end there because we want to go play it a few more times now. That was our review of Lord of the Rings, The Duel for Middle-earth. We really appreciate you watching. Please consider subscribing if this review was helpful. Please ask us any questions you have, and we'll see you next time.